Hello, 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 and welcome to the show. It's Friday night, so you know what's up. You know, on NTV, we always have TTTT right before the trend. My name is Amina Abdiraba. I am your host. Oh my gosh, what a week. It's been long, it's been busy. The Friday has been long and busy, and yet we're still here. Hello, Cindy. Hello, Quach. Hello, Daddy Mato, my panelist tonight.
What it is, yo? What's up?
How you doing?
Nilikuwa nikidhani kuacha na complain venye amesema Daddy Mato na finyo. Quach, why you catching feelings? If it is just Quach. If it is just Quach, watch it.
You know, Mato beat the algorithm because he was like, if you're not going to call me, I'm going to put it in my name. So that you have to do it.
I will.
Daddy Mato.
That is true, because the only person who calls Quach daddy is his son. And the whole country is, yeah, Daddy Mato, Daddy Mato. Let's get straight into the stories, guys. So let's take a look at some of the stories everybody was talking about this week. Starting off in China. There we go now. China bans influencers from boasting on social media. Can this really be implemented in the 254? Kama barua yake FCB peke yake ndio ilitushtua hivyo. I don't know. What's the panel got to say? Let's hear about that after this.
What is your general opinion about the finance bill that is yet to be passed?
My general opinion of the finance bill, first of all, finance bill inafanywa National Assembly, not in the Senate. But what I know about the Kenya Kwanza administration, what we promised the people on the ground is that economy itakuwa bottom up. Unaweza kuwa unalia, oh Ruto anatutax sana.
Karen is actually very pretty. Karen ameiva quite. Mambo ni kama imechemka though, kwa sababu hii finance bill, it seems to be a hard nut to crack. Who understands the building?
There is no way I can spend 200 million. There is no way. It costed the Republic of Kenya less than 10 million. So when some friends of mine heard that...
Wow. It was during prayer day that we got to hear the truth. Nothing but the truth in regards to the 200 million playing charge. Kumbe, we were all wrong. I need such friends though. Stick around for more.
Some friends...
All right, so now guys, let's get started. As you know, I want to hear from you back at home. At The Trend Live is our handle on X, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on TikTok. I'd love to hear your opinions, so do let us know which story imekugusa. Tuanzie na hii ya raisi basi. Now, this story, it made me feel like I want to change my friends, you know, adopt President Ruto's friends. Well, President William Ruto has addressed concerns about the cost of a recent state visit to the U.S., clarifying that his friends funded the private jet used for the trip. Ruto dismissed claims that his travel on the luxurious jet cost 200 million Kenya shillings. It didn't cost you, the taxpayer, but said the cost was actually 10 million Kenya shillings. And every time I think about, like, you know, the people I have in my life, like Cindy, tuke urgently. Naomba na magoti, lazima nitumie picha niko kwa deathbed. But let me see what I can do.
Can you quantify this request?
Let's just watch this clip and then we can talk.
There is no way I can spend 200 million. There is no way. It costed the Republic of Kenya less than 10 million. So when some friends of mine heard that I was going to travel Kenya Airways, and we have built a big reputation as a country. We have built friends. Some friends told me, how much do you want to pay? I said, I'm not ready to pay more than 20 million. They said, bring 10 million, we will give you the plane.
Cindy. I just, you know, oh my gosh. Mimi sijasema kitu. In fact, shida yangu, me question yangu haikuwa hata how much did you spend, why did me nilikuwa tu nataka kuenda. You know, like, I'm not mad at it, you know. Mato, I can see you pensive. Coach is just laughing because like me, he's like, tungeenda tuone Tyler Perry, you know, but Cindy, you're not.
I'm actually pensive because I'm just nafikiria, am I ready to go to jail? Like those are the things that I'm
You're weighing. You're weighing
the things that I need to do.
The degree of the free speech space in the country you live in.
Yeah.
That's what you.
Test it, Mato, test it. Uko na lawyer, you know. Like, I hope you're asking yourself very important questions. But Cindy is ready to say, okay, wait, Mato.
This is the challenge. This is the challenge.
What's the challenge?
When you have been wishy-washy with the truth, when you stand on alternative facts as opposed to the truth, it's very hard for people to trust what is coming from out of your mouth. It is very. So kama tumeshazoea huyu anafanyaga hivi alafu waseme hivi, and then because this is the government. And
are you calling the president a liar, Martin?
No, listen. I'm not saying he's a liar. I would never
You're
call
just
him a liar.
not saying the
I am
truth.
just saying that there are things that he has said,
Yeah.
and the facts have been different from what he has said. Is that a lie? I do not know.
The facts disagree.
I do not know. I do not know. All right? So,
the facts disagree.
umefanya hiyo point yangu nyingine iende wewe.
Coach is like lazima Mato aende sell leo. We are waiting on your point.
I'm like,
Mato.
ukiona KAB mpya 2024.
Let him
Subaru.
land. Let him land. Let him cook. Yes.
Imeenda.
Just cook.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Nitakumbuka,
I'm so sorry,
Let me
Mato.
interject and say this is the second time he has discredited a national air carrier, which is Kenya Airways. The first time he said it was cheaper for him to hire a private jet than to go with Kenya Airways. Now, some guy did the calculation, it's over social media, and he found that it actually wasn't cheaper. Then now he's saying he went to his friends and he said, I'm going with KQ, and the friends were like, guy,
No.
nikubaya hivyo.
Okay.
What?
So, uko na ngapi? Niko na 20. Wacha nitoe 10, utoe 10. Here's my worry about the backlash that has. As a head of state, when you say something, even if it's in the digital space or you say it in passing, it has some implication because unfortunately there are people who rely on the national carrier to take them from point A to B. Yeah. And the reputation that Kenya Airways is having right now about being more expensive than a private jet is giving people alternatives. So it would have been nice if he represented Kenya in fine fashion with an airliner that has our flag at the tail.
You know,
for whatever reason, the friends chipped in. I don't know. Me, I'm more worried about our national carrier.
internationally, we are having conversations going around about countries like Malawi having state visits through Kenya Airways, like state people who are visiting their country using Kenya Airways, our airline here.
Yes.
And we are out there defending how it is the pride of Africa and whatnot. As Cindy is saying, it is tricky when you hear the president of the country where the airline is coming from saying it's cheaper to use alternative means than to use the national carrier to go abroad.
Yep.
But that aside, mimi what it gave me was that feeling of mama yako amekuona na simu ya 70,000 and now they want to know the price of your phone and you're like actually
I got it on
deal.
I want it on the trend. You know they were giving away phones.
Kuna best yangu aliona simu yangu imezima akasema mbona ucharge simu, mbona tu usinunue mpya na niko hapa anataka uko na ngapi? And I was like, niko na 5 bob. They were like, no, niko na 75,000. Wacha niongeze na hiyo 5 bob yako tukununulie simu.
Actually, asante sana umesema hivyo umenikumbusha point yangu.
Yeah.
Since this is government expenditure, vitabu zitafunguliwa tuone kwa hakika that is the amount of money that was spent.
Nice.
Will that happen?
Well,
and then
it
also,
would be nice.
previous presidents have used the national carrier. And then something else that we realized is, even when the coined term hustler jet came from when our current president was the deputy president.
Yes.
And during that time, he was known to use private jets to globetrot. Ini kitu ambayo sio geni kwake, tunasema tu facts, hapa ni facts tu. It's something that we have seen before,
Yes.
we are seeing now, na I think nguo yake imeshapigwa pasi sasa. Ako ready for the next trip. Yeah, alikuwa amekuja kupiga pasi.
No, our lawyers, let me just tell you,
They'll
you
be
guys
overworked,
need to
guys.
know who has said what. Do you know how many people get so mad at me, Cindy? And they're like, oh, on your shows, did you who said Garcia?
Kwa
It
hiyo
wasn't
show
me.
ya Amina.
It was when they said
Kwa
kwa
hiyo
show
show
ya
ya
Amina.
Amina.
No,
So
but
what
Amina-
now they're going to say is that these people on this show here on the TV.
No, but-
I'm not sure, but someone had said,
Yeah.
okay, had said on social media, we're just paying for someone to tick boxes.
Dreams.
Like bucket list.
No. You know
When-
what I found unfortunate with this kind of spending is now it's going to overshadow every little benefit that we've gotten from the trip.
There's
Which
no
I feel-
benefit
There's no
we've
benefit.
gotten
I
from
feel-
that.
lie to Kenyans.
I feel the president should spend more time outlining what we gained from him spending the 10 million than defending what we have accused him of
Fun
spending.
fact, that expressway from Nairobi to Mombasa was promised to Kibaki. And it was promised to Uhuru.
And is this a loan or is it a
So
grant?
we
grant.
will wait
I
and
don't know.
see.
We don't know what we have sold, which part of us we have sold. And you know, it's so sad, and I know it's so crazy, but it's so scary that so many Kenyans share the same thought. And they're wondering, you know, it's not a good place to be where you see your president shaking someone's hand and you're like, bas, hapa kuna kitu imefanyika.
Yeah.
It's not a wonderful place, and millions of Kenyans are sharing the same thoughts. So for you, instead of seeing your president, you know, landing deals, maybe something will happen in this exchange, even just the whole Tyler Perry thing that again also overshadowed the trip. The trip was not about Tyler Perry, but it became so, it was a big point about his travel. We don't know, will that really translate, and will we feel the impact in the film industry? I want to hear from you at home though. I want to hear your thoughts at the Trend Live. Did that trip make sense? Like Cindy, do you also echo the same thoughts? Do you think that it didn't really? Hakuna kitu tulidu.
Kuna watu tunaendaga Kisumu,
Raundi mwenda, wakarudi.
Tunaambia we fly to
Nasema
Kisumu,
wanatuambia.
then we tell our parents. Kuna rafiki yangu alikuwa anakuja akanipea lift.
Akatupatia lift.
You don't want to tell them that you flew home. Uende ukamwone kwa nyumba ya nyasi. Like, that's what the situation we are experiencing here. That you don't want to tell Kenyans that you used 200 million while other countries spend way more. It's just that we need to justify why that amount was spent.
Cost
and
versus
especially when
benefit.
you know that this was because of the delegation and less about the president.
Yes.
We need to know how the people who traveled benefited us. And
have
like
to
if
take
the
a-
president angeenda tuna security yake na mama
Yake.
Rachel.
Yeah, you know, na family, mabeshte, makazi, my neighbor, you know, it just felt like it was a, kwa tunadu?
Funkia
Let's
safe talk.
take a quick break. We have to get back. Tell me your thoughts. Hashtag TTTT. We're going to be back after this. And welcome back. Welcome back. Now let's talk about China. China's Cyberspace Administration, the national internet regulator, has initiated a crackdown on influencers displaying wealth on social media. This move aims to curb the trend of influencers flaunting their riches to attract followers and compete on who appears more prosperous. According to the authority, this behavior has led to instances where influencers engage in fraudulent activities to meet their wealth targets and then boast about them online. Hapo Kenya wakijaribu kitu, acha niwaambie, I think ni kama watashika influencers wote. I think watashika wengi sana. Maybe Kwach is the only guy. Who is
Who is true?
who's
Who is
real?
legit?
Kwach is authentic.
What? Who is valid?
Amina saying hauna do. What? Ama kuna, you know,
No, Amina is
I am
saying-
hearing
Sina-
and
Amina is
understanding two
Sina,
things.
and let me tell you why tuwachange yu uongo. I remember there's another time Willie Paul said, oh, Kenyan artists, we make more money than, as if I'm an artist, but Kenyan artists make more money than sijui Tanzanian, Ugandan, and we make as much money as any big leading country in Africa. What a lie. What a lie, because
You know-
I need to pay for cab fare for more than 90% of my guests. To attend uongo, please. So many of them have to, and I'm not even saying it to be mean. I'm not trying to be condescending in any way. I'm just saying the reality is the entertainment industry here in Kenya doesn't pay as much as you imagine and you think.
True.
People will showcase only the highlights. They will show you cars that they are on, you know, they're just this, you post it on social media. Even me, I get them. But you're giving so many people pressure. See, nyumba si yenyu. People shoot a lot. They do, macho, don't lie. A lot of people shoot in Airbnbs. A lot of the cars are hired. A lot of the clothes, including the one I'm wearing, I'm giving it back.
But you've actually gone round and come back to your own point. That's the job.
No, it's not the job.
No,
it is the job.
That is it's the glamorization of it. That is the job.
To what end, Mato?
Because there are jobs that are inspirational and there are jobs that are aspirational. Entertainment industry is aspirational. The entertainment industry is meant to make you forget the problems that you're in and see somebody else who's thriving and be like, I can get there. If we all showed just the ni kubaya kila mahali, kumeharibika kila kitu, watu wataweza
Mato, you're like, why are you like people? Mato, you don't show off. You have ever seen
Mato? Of course, because I don't show off. I don't show off.
No,
because
but you don't.
I have my own reasons.
But you said it is the job of an influencer to show an aspirational life, luxurious life.
I'm not saying it is their job. I'm saying
you said
that is part of their job.
It is
that is the job
description. Well, they're faking it and they're lying, and that's why.
Sasa hiyo ndo shida.
Mimi I'm going to agree with you, Matu, that for example, where you talked about inspirational and aspirational, that before, entertainment used to be about fiction.
Yes.
And it used to be that the showbiz industry is a fictitious life.
Yes.
And fictitious, I'm not saying false. I'm saying it is a fictitious life.
Yes.
In the sense that you are making a show. That's why we dress larger than life. We live in houses larger than life. We walk with cars larger than life.
Or we live in houses.
That we do in larger than life.
Yes.
And that's what I'm saying. It's a show business. By that I mean that it is entertainment.
Yes.
That's why people watch shows
But
like The Real House.
Why don't you show your real life? There's nothing. There are actually people in this country who are making a lot of money, who are driving those cars. Like when you see Annalisa Muigai driving that car, you don't question.
But they do.
You don't
They are
think
not
she's
interested in
returning
showing
to the
it.
car yard.
Well, I mean, I think that's like asking,
No,
why do we act movies?
you
Why do we do
honestly-
sci-fi? Why do we do space
but
movies?
that's different. People buy
No, it's
that
not
kind
different.
of content knowing that it's fiction.
It's
They know it's fiction.
Thank you.
But when
So-
guys are on social
Thank
media and there are
you.
these young girls and boys with wads of cash in Airbnb's borrowed cars, there are people who are like my niece and my son who believe that it's real. And now my niece is like, okay, when I finish from 4,
I have to get
want to be an
sponsor.
influencer.
Or I have to
So,
get someone.
so
to
Cindy,
maintain this
that's
contract.
addressing now the other issue that is involved with it.
Yes.
Which is what I was going to say, that the issue is not that they are living the fictitious life. The issue is like what other countries did before when they said, if you apply any kind of filters on your pictures, you need to declare that this
you've applied a
picture
filter.
has been 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yes.
5. I think it's upon us who are consuming content sometimes to be able to differentiate when something is fictitious and something is factual. And the reason why I'm saying this is, it is as much the responsibility of the consumer as it is the responsibility of the person who's doing it. Because right now, you are not able to tell the difference between the person who's faking and the person who's real.
You can.
That alone.
You can.
That alone, Amina, that you
But
can't
stop
tell.
lying.
Because if you can tell the
if
difference,
you
then
are-
why are you complaining?
Because I
If
am
you can
in
tell
the
the difference, why are you
entertainment industry. I can
Yeah.
see you flaunting a house and you do not have money to get to the show.
So, Amina,
and you're
what
opening
I'm
I
ask-
know I can tell.
what I'm asking
because
you-
people who genuinely have money don't need to brag
But
and
what I'm-
constantly post your M-Pesa balance.
What I'm asking
Did
you,
went to the
Amina,
bank,
is
the money was...
the
Stop
person,
it.
the person
Stop
who's
it.
the person who's consuming the content,
They
are they
don't
able
know.
to tell when someone is saying the truth or
Quite.
not?
If they did, our show wouldn't
Yeah.
exist because
So-
we wouldn't be so gullible when it came to politicians.
So that's exactly why I'm
They
saying
lie.
that if they
People
are
can't
not
tell.
able to tell the difference, maybe that's what we need to address. Because what then do you tell the person who's living their truth?
Okay,
we
I
have-
think what
They are
I
flaunting.
understand-
They are
if I
still
understand-
flaunting.
We have to move on. We have to move on, though. We have to move on.
I was
No,
just going to say, if I understand what Kwach is saying, 65% of Kenyans are below the age of 18.
Yeah.
Those are the ones who are consuming that content
Yep.
and they're not able to tell if it's real or fake.
Yes.
Now, you cannot monitor kids because hiyo ni kuingia kwa bedroom ya watu. So maybe you just start with the influencers and say, if it is fake,
Yes.
we don't want. If it is real, hello KRA. Simple.
No, you
How
know
are you
what?
flossing a house now, Naitisha Fair? I don't get it.
You
I
have no
don't get
idea
it.
how
I don't
negative.
get it. In fact, any guest who has ever come to talk about money on my show, mujue kwanza huyo.
Tuma na ya kutoa.
Kabisa.
No, I mean,
Kabisa.
you know the problem that we are facing
Quickly,
is,
quiet. We
is
have to
that
go to the next
what
one.
showbiz has done is,
Yeah.
this is how it has worked for so many years, that people are victims, even the influencers themselves are victims of a system. They are not, yes, they are propagating it now, but they're also victims of the same system that is making them be the ones that suffer from
You
it the
can be
most.
different.
No,
They suffer
but-
from it the
but
most, I'm telling you.
Your entire content, every single video, you don't brag. No one
I
has
don't.
ever seen.
But
no,
that's
you
because
don't.
that's not my
No
type
one
of
has ever-
content.
No, well, how come? You've
That's
just
not
said
my type
influencers
of.
have
There are
been
people
forced
who
to.
lifestyle is their type of content.
You have chosen. Thank
Yeah.
you very much. Then you chose a lifestyle that you cannot afford and you
Yeah.
cannot maintain and you can't keep up.
Then
No, but
you
they are
come
show.
crying.
It's a show.
So,
It's a show.
Then
No, no,
that's
no,
why
no, no.
at some point, many years later, unatokea M-Pesa pay bill. Nakwambia,
Where?
we only
No, we are
have.
addressing different things.
No, but it's true.
We are.
It's
No,
true.
we
We
are.
have to, okay, I'm being
Okay,
told we have
sorry.
to go. What?
Okay,
Sikuwa
we
najua.
move on.
Ayayay. Hii ndo tunataka, hii ndo inabamba, but sawa. My director said, Amina, we gotta move on. Now, nominated Senator Karen Nyamu's attempt to explain the contents of the Finance Bill 2024 left reporters confused as she struggled a little to clearly interpret her understanding of the bill. When asked what her thoughts were on the controversial bill, Nyamu appeared to stutter at first. I don't know why, that was surprising, everyone does, before delving into a scattered defense of the bill and of President William Ruto's tax proposals. I'm not sure, I think Karen angesema bora hai. No need for this kind of struggle, but take a look.
What is your general opinion about the finance bill that is yet to be passed?
My general opinion of the finance bill, first of all, finance bill inafanywa National Assembly, not in the Senate. But what I know about the Kenya Kwanza administration, what we promised the people on the ground is that economy itakuwa bottom up. Unaweza kuwa wewe unalia, oh, Ruto anatutax sana, na sasa hiyo ametoa tax ya wale watu wako chini, ameongeza for example ya wale watu wana import vitanda kutoka nje. Na wewe unazusha nini? Na nikitoa haikuhusu. You know? Find out.
You know, at the end of the day, the day must end.
At the end of the day.
And I don't know, as a millennial, if you guys ever find yourself in that situation, you're giving advice to Gen Zs, and you're going somewhere, and you're like, when I began, and you don't know where it's going.
I blame the journalist. I blame these people who ask
truly.
questions.
Why would you?
Because
Don't blame them.
They remind me.
They were looking for content.
No,
You
I'm
went to
saying.
the sermon.
No, what I'm saying is they remind me of those people who, ni 3 a.m. you are clubbing, and then they're like, "Bro, ulisoma finance me." You what?
Yeah.
Nilisoma finance. It's 3 a.m. You are mko waluta, and then someone is like, "Bro, tunafaa kuanza kuinvest. Kwanza juzi nimeona government bonds zimetokea. Hizo infrastructure bonds," and you are in the club. You are like, "Hey, bro, you can't read hapa tunafaa kuulizana tu about ule waiter anatuletea nini ule."
But
also the other thing now addressing the content of what Karen Nyamu was saying is, because now it is addressing the rich, we should not talk about it we as the poor. First of all, we are aspiring rich people. That's the first one.
We're aspirational content.
Yes, women aspirational content. But 2, the rich pass down the cost to the poor.
Yes.
If I am importing beds and the government is taxing highly on the importation of these beds, they will pass it down. The people who import cars do not garamia the tax they pay. They pass it down to the people who are buying it in the bazaars.
Yeah.
The people who import fuel, for example, mafuta, they don't garamia the cost themselves. They pass it down. So it is the issue of the guy who's consuming to talk about the tax being levied on the thing they are consuming, regardless of whether they are the ones importing it or not. This is the Ronald Reagan theory all over again. It didn't work in America. It will not work here.
All right, I just have a question. Who takes matatus?
The poor people.
I take mods. Oh my God.
Almost 60%
You're
of
such a jango quad.
almost
It's not
Cindy has not seen. Cindy has not seen
Wait,
that.
no, Cindy. No, it's a viral video.
Cindy has not seen that video.
You've not seen that video, Cindy?
No, I haven't.
The truth is almost 60% of the middle class still take matatus.
Yeah,
because
they can't
that
afford the
is
fuel
the
throughout the
workforce
month.
Yeah.
of this country. And most of them take matatus. That is why every morning there's traffic into town and every afternoon there's traffic out of town. Because it's those people who are working in these offices ambao wamejaza huko. Na ni matatu
can
kuna
we
line.
stop making rationalizing what Karen Nyamu said, because what you've said, Kwach, is real, but you're trying to justify what you said. At the end of the day, what you said didn't make sense, because she was caught at a very inopportune time. It was a bash.
Yeah.
Chances are she was inebriated.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she could say anything. It's not for us to justify. It's for us to talk about how she was asked a hard question and she was not in a position to answer it.
When you are
and
a
she
leader,
was targeted
No,
for
Kwach,
foolery.
when you are a leader, the
She
former
was.
president Uhuru Kenyatta was asked a question
That is Uhuru
about.
Kenyatta.
No, I'm
That's
telling
very
you.
different.
When you are a
She's
leader,
a senator.
when you are a
Nominated.
leader, a
No.
senator is a leader. Cindy, there's no better definition of a leader
It's
than a
fine.
senator.
What I'm trying
When you
to
are a
say,
leader, you must know that angesema, I don't want
I
to
don't
respond.
think so.
If you do not think that you
I
are in a
don't think
position
so.
to,
Leaders are human. What I'm saying is, this is what
Hakuna.
I'd have been typical Karen and said, you know what? I
What
don't
do I?
think this is the time to talk about this.
yes, exactly.
Come to my office tomorrow.
Yeah, let's
But
discuss
sometimes
it
we
then.
hold these guys into such, it's like expecting a lot from MCAs, and
And
we've
they're
been talking
human.
about them from time immemorial.
Cindy-
we know what we are going
Cindy,
to
hebu
get.
imagine ukutane na the president, these bloggers, because now they are everywhere.
Yeah.
Wakutane na our president mahali kwa
Yeah.
ametoka nini kesha.
Bye.
And then wamkute hapo. Mr. President, si utupunguzie tax aseme kutoka kesho. Because he is not in a situation
let's take
where
a break.
that's
Let's take a
that's how much a responsibility a leader holds.
No, let's
that's
take
why
a break.
if you are not in a position to talk about it,
Wacha
avoid
watu wapewe
wacha
saa zile
kupenda
chenye
kamera.
wanapewa. Saa zile
One statement.
wanapewa.
Hapana,
Unauliza
hapana.
stories za
statement.
finance
Sometimes
bill ya
when
nini?
you know, Kwach, I'm sure when, like as Cindy said, when you're inebriated, you genuinely think umeland. Like,
Yeah.
you're like, wow, this was so deep.
Let me just say one thing.
We have to take a quick break, Mato. Can you please put a pin in it right after the break? We'll start with you. I'm sorry. Welcome back. Now, an altercation erupted in the Bonje area of Mombasa when county inspectorate officers tried to stop Mogoka traders from entering the port city. The traders, who had stayed away from Mombasa since the governor issued an executive order banning the stimulant, arrived in Bonje in the morning with trucks carrying the product. But things turned out to be a wrestling match. You know, they always say in Kenya, all you need is data to just see things online. Usichague kuwa na pressure. Watu fanya vituko nchini. I don't know if we can listen in to what's going on, but Mato, I don't know what your thoughts are. They were just like, biashara ne?
Biashara.
Lazima sisi tuendelee na kazi. Tumesikia Kenya amesema, we had you, we appreciate it, but we're just going to continue conducting our business. How else do you want us to make our money? Right?
Kuna mtu hapa alikuwa lambishwe hakulambishwa kabla histori yote ikatike. That is just a thought, an opinion. Ni yangu tu. Because if the president himself, ona sasa ninatetea president. If the president himself alisimama akasema, if it is recognized by law, then it should pass. And all the laws that you're trying to come up with in your counties, they cannot supersede the national laws. Ilisemekana hivyo. And the painful thing here is, the county officers are there, wamesimamisha hizo trucks, wanasema, ngojeni tupate authorization. Ngojeni tusikie vile tutaambiwa. Yet the people who are there are telling them, these are perishable goods. By the time we finish having this conversation, zitakuwa zimeharibika. Hapa kuna pesa ya mtu inashikiliwa, na anataka iwachiliwe. That is how I see it.
It's true.
You know,
I
Mato,
completely agree
I
with
think
Mato. Yeah,
the worst thing that happened to Mogoka traders was the involvement of the national government in this issue. Because it already was in the courts. And the courts were already going to rule the way they ruled.
Yeah.
But now, since it looked like the national government is flexing on the county government,
Yeah.
now they will do anything. And there's one Mogoka trader who said they will be now having Cold War. I might not outrightly ban it, but I will make it so difficult to trade this thing here, because there's nothing that stops the county askaris from stopping these people when they're on their way. There's absolutely nothing. There's no law that says that they can't check what you're carrying. So they will come up with all sorts of ways to frustrate the traders. For example, they will increase the levy, which is well within their right of getting into ile cess ya kuingia na kutoka na kupita. They will increase that one for the mogoka traders because now they have an issue with the product. The best thing that could have happened to these traders was sitting down with the county government, outlining out whatever issues they have together and agreeing that this is how we're going to move forward. But as long as it's going to be an issue of flexing muscles, nyasi ndiyo itaumia. Na wachanaji. I
totally agree, because if you look at the statistics, what kills people more in Kilifi County, it's not mogoka, and it is not G-bag, now that I know what it is. It's drugs. So why not have a more
What do you mean it's
drugs?
drugs?
What I'm trying to say, oh my gosh, of course they are drugs. It's hard drugs.
Yeah.
Why not have a more robust campaign
Thank you.
to try and curb the hard drugs that are killing people? You know, the heroin,
the
and all that cocaine and all that stuff. Other than
But
fighting
where are you getting
a
your
commodity
statistics?
that is actually being exported. The statistics come from Nakada's website.
No, because now, the governor said in their rehabs, most people in the rehab are there because of the mogoka. That's why they are acting.
And we believe it because he said it. There is just no way.
That's what I'm asking. So where are we getting alternative facts? That's what I'm asking.
There is just no way.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we all know that, you know, this kind of hard drugs industry is an industry you really don't want to mess, because it just doesn't have nice people, and you probably don't want to make them know that what they're doing for a living is disturbing your people, so you'll blame mogoka. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of hard drugs in the coastal region. Let's ban that. Let's even talk about cigarettes that kill people more than any other drug. But it's very legal. It's sold in supermarkets. Nobody is doing that. In fact, we are sitting with them and talking about how their taxes can go into doing what. So what I'm trying to say is, if you're going to target this drug, target them all. Don't say it is mogoka, it is veve, and then the rest are okay. Reigning free, I mean, I can talk about
the rest
shisha,
are already,
people won't like
Cindy,
me.
the rest are already banned. That's what they were. I'm not defending anyone, but they were saying that the rest of the drugs, the ones we are talking about, the hard drugs, they have already been banned. There is no need to ban them again because they're already not legal. They're already not linked.
But
they are saying,
Quite,
they are saying that yes, there is war on drugs and whatever. They're saying that mogoka is legal. And now they were making a move to make it illegal.
Ban shisha first.
Shisha has already been banned in the whole country.
Mogoka.
Oh,
Shisha
has already been banned.
God.
Surely.
Down the road, people
It's
are
already
shisha.
no, Cindy, I think what you guys are missing is, what you're saying is you should increase the measures of enforcing the ban.
Okay.
But you're not saying it should be banned because they're already banned. It's like the coastal people are now saying, wakati they're fighting alcohol in central Kenya. Why is no one saying alcohol is legal? Why are you guys fighting it?
So many people say that, Kwat.
Yeah, no, they're saying that the deputy president is the leader of the onslaught against alcohol in central Kenya. And now the governor has said that he wants to lead the onslaught against mogoka in central, the coastal region. Yeah. Why are we being lenient on the fight against alcohol and yet we are not tolerating the fight against mogoka?
Because it feels like it's two-faced. Because we all know what plagues the coastal region in terms of drug intake. Yes. Mogoka is not good, neither is veve. We're not saying that they are lesser evils, but we feel the kind of oomph and you know, energies being given to these drugs should be given to those drugs as well. For example, raiding the drug dens, we don't see stuff like that. You know, drug barons being arrested, we don't see stuff like that. You see the Mogoka and the Mira guy who has spent so much money planting this thing being stopped.
But Cindy, sometimes for you to fight the big fight, you have to to build momentum by fighting the small ones.
As
So
an
that you can
Anyonge.
build momentum.
That feels like a bottom-up approach.
Umechukua line yangu wewe. That was the payoff. I was setting up this joke.
That was the punchline.
Payoff.
I'm sorry.
Me, I quit.
My bad.
No, but also that goes to the bigger conversation of
Yes,
how
what?
much does the county governments have control over the laws they make in their counties against the laws make nationwide.
Well,
So that's also another conversation that needs to be had, because the other thing people are saying, you just do not have the jurisdiction to do that.
to announce things like
Yeah,
that.
you can't announce.
You can't just give
Wewe
an order.
collect says
Wewe
what?
kaa nani? Wewe kaa nani? Watuambia nini sisi? Atuambia tuwezi kula miraa. Wewe kwenda jamani, tuko na shida kubwa kubwa. And there was a guy who went viral online and he was saying there are bigger issues for them to discuss in Coastal.
Like
other than
cervical
you,
cancer.
or land grabbing, which is a really big problem that they have, you know.
Or
And he
title
was saying,
deeds.
and you know, he was
Security.
saying, and you know, sometimes you have to understand this. So even in Dandora, I don't know if you guys saw, but when you hear the song Dandora, hip hop city, there's a place that Giuliani had built where he was trying to ensure that artists have, you know, a recording studio, and they, you know, they can pursue their love of music through that.
It's being
The
demolished.
place that it was being demolished. Now you don't give them an alternative. Sawa, umesema vijana wengi wanakula muguka. But what are you doing for them? What do they have as an alternative? So many people chew mira, get high, smoke up, and do all types of things because they're trying to escape. Life just sucks.
Yeah.
So what alternative do we have? Are we getting them jobs? You know, and not ati kwenda kusafishia watu huko manyumba Dubai.
I think it was just an easy target.
People are just really...
That's the word.
It
Mogoka-
was an easy
Mogoka was
target.
an
It was a very easy
Because-
target.
And why? Why what? Because
No,
the
because-
people who deal in other... If we
Because it
say
does
the
not belong
truth,
to the big conglomerates.
Alcohol affects people
Yeah.
way more
And
than
cigarettes,
mogoka.
yeah.
Tobacco, yeah.
In fact, smoking is what doctors advise people to never even try. They ask you, it could affect you. It could affect your heart. It could affect your lungs. It could affect so many things.
Yeah.
But we're not ready for that conversation. And as someone who makes a lot of money from this alcohol, let's move on, guys. Now, the body of a Kenyan climber, this is a sad story, who died on Mount Everest last week will remain on the mountain where he died. His family has said that Joshua Cheruiyot Kirui died while on a daring mission to reach the summit of Mount Everest without any supplementary oxygen, which, of course, as you know, they always advise you, they tell you to carry it. Yeah, akasema, hapana. Did
Actually,
you see that?
it's one of the it's a thing that they do.
Yes.
Like there are those who choose to go without supplemental oxygen. There are those who do. But to be part of the records, if you go up without supplemental oxygen, it's better. But according to this story, he had a guide who still carried the supplemental oxygen just in case. But for some reason, the guide is still yet to be found, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So somewhere he disappeared, and the Kenyan climber alikwama kwa crevice fulani hapo hivyo pia, and that is what happened. It's not because he ran out of oxygen or anything. I think he slipped
but also
probably and
this-
fell,
yeah.
and that is what happened.
They
To
said
the
they-
family and friends,
pole
and all the
sana.
supporters,
Yes.
this would have been a big feat for Kenya because you'd have been not only the first Kenyan but the first African to summit Mount Everest without supplemental oxygen. So condolences to the family and buriani kwao.
I mean, when the success rate of going up there without any supplementary oxygen is 3%, you know how hard it is to be there. And it was going to be an absolutely phenomenal feat had he made it. And in fact, there's
He
a
was
story
almost
of
there.
they had disagreed with the coach, and people were against the idea. But what I love about this story is Cheruiyot has gone out by his own terms. And it's a great thing that the family has decided that they'll keep the body there as a remembrance to what great feat he was about to achieve. So condolences and pole to the family.
And he was almost there, by the way. I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys-
Yeah, he
made
almost
it.
summited. He
Yeah.
almost did. And it's a really bizarre but fun fact that near the summit, there are so many dead bodies
Yes.
Yeah.
of climbers who tried to summit but didn't make it. And for the same reasons, it's too expensive, it's too tricky. The bodies are left there. And there are some who even signed and said, if I don't make it, leave me there, because that's the final resting place. So he's among legends. It's a difficult decision
Very.
as Africans not to have a physical representation when somebody passes on. But I agree with you, Kwach. He went at his own terms. All you need to do is follow his socials. He was such an athlete, very physically fit. And the running community really misses him a lot. So
Yeah.
condolences to his family.
Yes, condolences to the friends, to the family. He was posted by so many big international pages that, you know, go for some of these adventures, and for people who love, you know, that adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
Do you guys go hiking by any chance? Any one of you?
Yeah.
You do, Kwach? Do you?
This too
Okay.
I mean, I feel like you're judging me. When you're asking,
so
do you go? And then I
surprised.
say yes. Then you're like, do you?
Yeah,
You're like,
I'm
Kwach
really
watches a golf.
surprised.
I'm like, yeah. Then you're like, do you play
Najo
golf?
Chezangi
Really?
golf, bro. Najo Chezangi. But anyway, we don't have more time. Thank you so much. Oh, wow. We didn't even read social media today. I'm so sorry that people who complain when we don't. It was all Macho's fault. For
No,
real.
no. Mimi hata statement yangu nilikataa niseme.
Oh,
Ile
sema
ya
daka.
ile ya Karenyamu. Waliuliza leader, politician akajibu.
Hiyo ungelala nayo bro.
Siwezi.
I can interrupt news, by the way. I guess I'm no smirty. I have to say this point. But thank you, Macho. Thank you, Kwach. And thank you so much. Cindy, we'll catch you at 10 p.m. We have a great show lineup for you. My name is Amina Abdirabad. Time now for the news. Good evening.